There are things in life that should never be shared, not out of secrecy, but out of wisdom. The more you reveal, the more control you hand over to others. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." But what happens when your deepest thoughts, fears and ambitions fall into the wrong hands? In a world obsessed with oversharing, true power lies in restraint. What if your vulnerability is being used against you? What if your kindness is mistaken for weakness? The Stoics understood this truth centuries ago. Today, we uncover 8 things you should never share with anyone, 8 secrets that will shield your mind, fortify your soul, and transform the way you navigate life. Stay until the end, your strength depends on it. 1. Your long-term goals. Why silence is strength. Think about the last time you were in love. The excitement, the dreams you shared, the late-night conversations about the future. You probably told them everything, your biggest hopes, your wildest ambitions, the things you swore you'd achieve together. But then things changed. Maybe they left. Maybe life happened. And now all those dreams, those promises, they're out there, exposed, no longer just yours. Now let me ask you, have you ever regretted telling someone your deepest dreams? If so, you're not alone. This is a mistake we all make, but the Stoics knew better. They believed that our long-term goals should remain our own, locked away until they become reality. Because the more you speak of your ambitions, the more power you give away. Here's a paradox that might shock you. The more you talk about your dreams, the less likely you are to achieve them. Science backs this up. Studies show that when you announce your goals publicly, your brain releases dopamine, the same chemical that makes you feel rewarded. That's right. Just by telling someone your plans, your mind feels like you've already accomplished them. And guess what happens next? You lose motivation. But it gets worse. The moment you share your dreams, you invite opinions. And let's be honest, most people won't believe in you the way you do. Some will doubt you, some will subtly discourage you, and some might secretly hope you fail. Have you ever shared a goal, only to have someone laugh, roll their eyes, or say, "That's not realistic"? How did that make you feel? Like a balloon losing air, right? Stoic wisdom, the power of keeping goals private. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, never boasted about his plans, he simply acted. He wrote in Meditations, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This is the essence of true power. Don't talk, do. Let your success be your proof. The Stoics believed that action, not words, defines a person. Epictetus went even further. He warned, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. In other words, don't waste energy proving yourself to others. Let them underestimate you. There is immense power in being underestimated. Modern application, how this changes your life. Imagine keeping your biggest dreams to yourself. No pressure, no outside noise, just you, silently working, getting better every day. No one sees it coming until one day they look up and you've already won. Think of the greats: Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, Kobe Bryant. Did they spend time explaining their every move? No, they built in silence. So here's your challenge. The next time you feel like announcing your dreams, stop. Hold on to them. Protect them. Work in silence and let your results be your voice. What about your fears? Have you ever opened up about something personal, only to have it used against you later? In the next section, we'll uncover why your deepest fears should never be shared. Stay with me, this might just change the way you see the world. 2. Your deepest fears. The dangers of emotional exposure. Think back to the person who knew you best, the one you trusted with your heart. Your past, your fears. Maybe it was a lover, a best friend, or even a family member. You told them everything, the things that kept you awake at night, the wounds from your past, the insecurities you never admitted to anyone else. And in that moment, it felt safe. It felt right. But then something changed. The relationship ended, the trust shattered, and suddenly the words you once whispered in confidence became weapons. Maybe they mocked your fears. Maybe they exposed them to others. Maybe they just looked at you differently, like you were weak, fragile. Have you ever had that moment where you realized that someone now held a piece of you that you could never take back? Introducing the conflict, how your fears become weaknesses in the wrong hands. The truth is, when you expose your fears, you give people power over you. Not everyone will use it against you, but some will. Because human nature is not always kind. Here's a harsh reality. People respect strength. They admire resilience. But when you open up about your deepest fears too freely, you risk changing the way others see you. You may be looking for comfort, but what you often get is judgment. And even if no one ever betrays you, something even more dangerous happens. You start seeing yourself through the lens of your own fears. The more you talk about what scares you, the more power you give it. You feed the fear, and in doing so, you make it grow. The strength in silence. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor, faced war, betrayal, and death on a daily basis, but he never voiced his fears. Instead, he wrote in Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." This is the key. Your fears don't need to be announced. They need to be mastered. Epictetus, another great Stoic, warned against emotional exposure. He said, "If you wish to be invincible, then never enter into a contest where it is not in your power to win." When you expose your fears, you are entering a contest you can never fully control. The only way to win is to keep your vulnerabilities private and work on them in silence. How this changes your life. Imagine a world where no one knew what scared you, where people saw only your strength, your confidence, not because you don't have fears. Everyone does, but because you don't let them define you. That's real power. Not pretending to be fearless, but refusing to let fear control you. So here's your challenge. The next time you feel the urge to spill your fears to someone, stop. Write them down. Face them alone. Conquer them in silence. Because once you do, no one, not even your worst enemy, can ever use them against you. But what about resentment? Have you ever held onto a grudge so tightly that it started to control you? In the next section, we'll uncover why holding onto personal resentments doesn't make you stronger, it makes you weaker. Stay with me, you don't want to miss this. 3. Personal resentments. How holding grudges weakens you. Think about the last person who hurt you. Maybe they betrayed your trust, broke your heart, or walked away when you needed them most. Even now, when you hear their name or see their face, something stirs inside you: anger, bitterness, the sting of unfinished business. Now be honest. How much time have you spent replaying that pain? How many nights have you laid awake, imagining the perfect comeback? The moment they regret losing you? Maybe you've told yourself, "I'll show them. I'll prove them wrong." But here's the hard truth. The only person suffering from your resentment is you. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack everywhere you go. At first, you barely notice the weight, but as days, months, and years pass, it drains your energy, slows you down, and makes every step harder. That's what resentment does to your mind. You think you're punishing them, but in reality, you're only burdening yourself. They've moved on. They're living their life, laughing, thriving while you're stuck, replaying old wounds. The Stoics understood this centuries ago. They knew that resentment is a chain that binds you to the past, and the only way to be truly free is to let it go. The freedom of letting go. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of Rome, had countless enemies. People who plotted against him, spread lies, even tried to take his life. But did he waste time on revenge? No, instead he wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." That's the secret. Don't lower yourself to their level. Don't let their actions dictate your emotions. Rise above. Seneca, another great Stoic, warned against the poison of grudges. He said, "Anger, if not restrained, is frequently more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it." Let that sink in. The harm they caused you is already done, but by holding on to it, you allow them to keep hurting you every single day. How this changes your life. Think of the most powerful, successful people you admire. Do you think they waste time dwelling on past betrayals? No, they move forward. They use their energy to build, to grow, to win. So here's your challenge. Instead of focusing on those who wronged you, focus on yourself. The best revenge isn't proving them wrong, it's becoming so strong, so fulfilled that they don't even exist in your mind anymore. But what about kindness? Should we always keep our generosity private? Or is it okay to seek recognition? In the next section, we'll explore why true giving requires no recognition and how the Stoics mastered the art of selfless generosity. Stay with me, this one might change how you see giving forever. Your generosity. Why true giving requires no recognition. Think back to a time when you gave someone a gift, helped a friend, or did something kind without expecting anything in return. Maybe it was a small gesture, a favor, money, or even just words of encouragement. Now ask yourself, how did it feel? At first, probably good. But what if they didn't say thank you? What if they never acknowledged your kindness? Did you feel a little disappointed? Maybe even hurt? Here's a question most people don't want to ask themselves. Were you truly giving out of kindness? Or were you giving for recognition? The Stoics had a radical belief: true generosity requires no audience. no approval, and no repayment. Because the moment you expect something in return, it stops being generosity and starts being a transaction. Why seeking recognition destroys true giving. Think of the world today. People post every good deed on social media, craving likes, praise, and admiration. Look at me. Look at what I did. But the Stoics saw through this illusion. They understood a fundamental truth. If you need recognition for your kindness, then you weren't being kind, you were feeding your ego. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, warned against this. He said, "He who gives when he is asked has waited too long." True generosity is instinctive. It doesn't hesitate. It doesn't wait for an audience. It just gives because giving is its own reward. The power of silent generosity. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of Rome, lived by this principle. He believed that doing good should be as natural as a tree giving shade. The tree doesn't expect gratitude. It doesn't care if people notice. It simply gives because that's what it was made to do. He wrote in Meditations, "Do not waste what remains of your life in speculating about others. Be satisfied if the smallest thing goes on well, and consider that even this is no small thing." In other words, stop worrying about whether others notice your kindness. Just do what's right. That's enough. How this changes your life. Imagine living without the need for applause. Imagine giving, helping, supporting without ever worrying about whether people appreciate you. That's real freedom, because the moment you stop needing recognition, no one can manipulate you with guilt, approval, or validation. So here's your challenge. The next time you do something kind, don't tell anyone. Don't post about it. Just do it and move on. Feel the power of silent generosity, because the purest acts of kindness are the ones that no one ever sees. But what about family matters? Should we share our conflicts with the world? Or is there wisdom in keeping private matters private? In the next section, we'll explore why family conflicts should never be shared, and how silence can protect your deepest relationships. Stay with me. This one might change the way you handle personal struggles forever. 5. Family conflicts. The wisdom of keeping private matters private. Think back to your last argument with a family member. Maybe it was a heated fight with a sibling, a misunderstanding with your parents, or a betrayal that still lingers in your heart. In that moment of anger, did you ever feel the urge to vent, to tell a friend, post about it online, or seek validation from someone outside the family? Be honest, have you ever shared family issues with someone only to regret it later? Here's the hard truth. The moment you expose family conflicts to the outside world, you lose control over them. What was once a personal matter now becomes public judgment, and the people you confided in may never see your family the same way again. Why sharing family problems weakens you. In today's world, people share everything, every argument, every fight, every betrayal. Social media is flooded with posts like, "You won't believe what my mom just said," or "My brother is the worst person ever." But here's what they don't realize, outsiders don't forget. You might forgive your family, but the people you vented to, they won't. The next time they see your sibling, your parent, or your spouse, they'll remember only the worst parts. Worse yet, some people will use your family struggles against you. They'll gossip, spread rumors, or quietly judge you. And suddenly, what was once a temporary conflict becomes a permanent stain on your relationships. Why silence is strength in family matters. The Stoics understood this well. Marcus Aurelius, despite being emperor, faced immense family struggles, betrayals, disloyalty, and constant power struggles. But did he ever complain publicly? No, instead he wrote, "Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself," meaning handle your issues within, not by seeking sympathy from the world. Because once you let outsiders into your problems, you invite opinions, judgment, and interference. Seneca, another great Stoic, warned against emotional outbursts. He believed that true wisdom is knowing when to speak and when to remain silent. He advised, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Think about that. Most family conflicts are temporary, but if you make them public, they become permanent scars, ones that never fully heal. How this changes your life. Imagine if, from this moment forward, you stopped sharing family conflicts with outsiders. No venting, no social media posts, no gossip. Instead, you handled things privately with wisdom and patience. What happens? Trust is protected, conflicts don't escalate, and your family bonds remain intact. So here's your challenge. The next time you feel the urge to share a family issue, pause. Ask yourself, will this help or will it just add fuel to the fire? Choose silence. Choose wisdom. Because the strongest families aren't the ones without conflicts, they breed the ones who handle them privately. But what about money? Should we share our financial situation with others? Or is there power in keeping it a mystery? In the next section, we'll explore why your financial 6. Financial status, the hidden power of mystery. Imagine this, you just got a big promotion. Or maybe you finally saved enough money to buy something you've always wanted. The first thing you want to do? Tell someone. Maybe post about it, casually mention it in a conversation, or even show off a little. Now flip the script. Imagine you're struggling financially, barely making ends meet. You see others living their best lives, and suddenly, you feel the need to explain, to justify, to let people know why things are the way they are. Here's the truth. The more people know about your financial situation, good or bad, the more power they have over you. Why sharing your financial status hurts you? When people know you have money, expectations rise. Friends suddenly assume you'll cover the bill. Family members might start asking for loans. Strangers may treat you differently, not because of who you are, but because of what you have. And when people know you're struggling, they judge, they pity. Some may even look down on you. Either way, the moment you reveal your financial status, you lose control of how people perceive you, the power of keeping finances private. The Stoics understood this well. They believed that wealth, whether abundance or lack, should never define a person. Seneca, one of the wealthiest Stoics in Rome, said, "Wealth is the slave of the wise, but the master of the fool," meaning money should serve you, not the other way around. And one of the best ways to keep money from controlling you is to keep your financial affairs private. Marcus Aurelius, despite being emperor, never flaunted his wealth. He wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself and your way of thinking." The happiest people aren't the ones who have the most. They're the ones who aren't controlled by money, because they understand its true value. How this changes your life. Imagine if no one knew how much money you had. No assumptions, no expectations, no pressure. You could move freely, make financial decisions based on your own goals, not other people's opinions. So here's your challenge. Stop discussing your financial status. Stop showing off when you succeed, and stop explaining yourself when you struggle. Let people wonder. Let them assume, because in that mystery there is power. But what about your future plans? Should you share your next big move with the world? Or is there wisdom in keeping it silent? In the next section, we'll explore your next move, the Stoic art of strategic silence, and why the most powerful people never reveal their plans too soon. Stay with me. This might change the way you approach success forever. 7. Your next move, the Stoic art of strategic silence. Think about a time when you were excited about something, a new job, a business idea, a major life change. You told your friends, your family, maybe even shared it online. You expected support, encouragement, maybe admiration, but instead you got doubt, skepticism, unwanted advice. Some people didn't believe in you. Others subtly discouraged you. And worst of all, some secretly hoped you would fail. Did it ever feel like the more you talked about your plans, the harder they became to achieve? That's not your imagination. The more you reveal your next move, the more resistance you invite, both from others and from yourself. Why talking too much weakens your success? Here's a powerful truth. Most people don't realize talking about your goals tricks your brain into feeling like you've already achieved them. Psychologists call this social reality. When you share your plans, your brain releases dopamine, the same chemical that comes from accomplishment. You feel good, satisfied, so satisfied that you lose motivation to actually do the work. And then there are the external threats. Not everyone wants to see you win. Some people will subtly discourage you, plant seeds of doubt, or even try to sabotage your progress. This is why the most powerful people in history moved in silence. Why the strongest people stay quiet until the time is right. The Stoics believed that control over one's words is control over one's fate. Marcus Aurelius, despite being the most powerful man in Rome, understood the value of silence. He wrote, "Do what is necessary, and whatever remains, do it with dignity. Say little, but say it well." In other words, let your actions speak for you. Stop announcing your every step. Just move, just execute. Let people see results, not promises. Seneca also warned against speaking too soon. The greatest remedy for anger is delay. The same applies to your plans. The greatest remedy for failure is silence. How this changes your life. Imagine making progress without pressure. No opinions, no doubts, no negativity. Just you, your vision, and your execution. The next time you feel the urge to announce your next move, stop. Keep it to yourself. Work in silence. Let the world see results, not intentions, because the greatest victories are won in the shadows, long before the world ever knows what's coming. But what about your struggles? Should you share your hardships, or is there wisdom in facing them alone? In the next section, we'll explore your inner struggles, how Stoic resilience is built from within, and why true strength comes from mastering your pain in silence. Stay with me. This might change the way you handle adversity forever. 8. Your inner struggles. How Stoic resilience is built from within. Think about the hardest moment of your life, the pain that no one saw. The nights you laid awake wondering if things would ever get better. Maybe it was heartbreak, failure, loss, or the feeling that you weren't enough. Now ask yourself, did telling people about it truly help? Maybe some listened, some sympathized, but did it change anything? Or did you still have to face it alone in the end? Here's a truth most people avoid. No one can save you but you. The Stoics understood this. True strength isn't built by seeking pity. It's built by mastering your pain, silently from within. Why sharing struggles can make them worse. In today's world, everyone shares their struggles. Social media is flooded with posts about mental battles, emotional pain, and personal hardships. But the Stoics would ask, are you sharing to heal or to be validated? The danger of constantly expressing your struggles is this. The more you talk about your pain, the more power it has over you. Psychologists call this rumination. When you replay problems in your mind, or with others, so much that they consume you, instead of finding solutions, you become trapped in the identity of someone who suffers. And here's the harshest reality: most people don't care as much as you think. Some listen out of politeness, some out of curiosity, and others, they just want something to gossip about. This is why your greatest battles should be fought in silence. Stoic wisdom: how resilience is built internally, not externally. Marcus Aurelius, an emperor who faced wars, betrayals, and the loss of his children, never sought public sympathy. Instead, he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Meaning, the battle isn't out there, it's inside you. Epictetus, once a slave who rose to become one of the greatest philosophers, understood this deeply. He taught, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. In other words, your struggles don't define you, your response does. And the strongest response isn't found in words, but in action. Modern application: how this changes your life. Imagine facing your struggles without needing validation. No more seeking approval. No more waiting for others to lift you up. Just you handling your challenges, growing stronger every day. So here's your challenge. The next time you face hardship, resist the urge to broadcast it. Instead, sit with it, master it. Let it forge you into something unbreakable. Because true resilience isn't proven by how much you share, it's proven by how much you overcome, quietly with dignity. Final conclusion and engagement. Every one of these lessons, from guarding your fears to keeping your next move silent, is about one thing: power. The power of self-control, the power of wisdom, the power of mastering yourself so that nothing, no person, no event, no struggle can shake you. So now I ask you, which of these lessons hit you the hardest? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. And if you're ready for even deeper Stoic wisdom, watch this next video. You won't see life the same way again.